Hey, Algebra 1, Catlin here with your help for your cool down on Lesson 3 with a little bit different background than normal. I'm at home. The internet at school was down, so doing this one from home tonight, and we're looking at Lesson 3. We're still talking about function notation, and we're looking at an art museum that opens at 9 a.m. and it closes at 5 p.m. And the function, we're going to call it V, gives the number of visitors in a museum H hours after it opens. So this is a function of time. V is the name of the function. The output here is the number of visitors, and the input is the time of the day that passed when they've opened at 9 a.m. All right, so let's look at the first one here. Explain what this statement tells us about the situation. Okay, so this statement is an equation that's written in function notation. And this tells us, since this is our input, it's going inside of our parentheses, it's going in. This is our independent variable, which is hours. And then this right here, the 28, is going to represent the number of people. So the explanation, what I would say here is I would say at, let's see, an hour and a quarter after they open, so at 10:15, that would be an hour and a quarter of an hour is 15. At 10:15 a.m., there are 28 visitors in the museum. Visitors in the art museum. That's how we interpret museum. The function notation there. All right, number 2. We're going to use the function notation to represent the statements. So we're going to write them using the V of equals format. So let's look and see what we got here first. At 1 p.m., all right, there were 257 visitors. So 1 p.m. needs to be represented inside the parentheses, and 257 needs to be what it equals. But we can't put 1 in there because the number that goes into our function is the number of hours after it opens. So if it's 1 o'clock and it opened at 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So this is 4 hours after they've opened. So I would note that with V of 4 is equal to 257. All right, at the time of closing, okay, closing. So it takes 3 hours from 9 to get to noon and 5 more hours. So they close 8 hours after they open. They're open for 8 hours a day. So at the time of closing, which would be V of 8, there are no visitors in the museum. So everybody's gone by the time they close. That makes sense. They're not open anymore. So we're going to use this information that we know, and we're going to sketch a graph that could represent the function. We got some non-negotiables here. We know that an hour and a quarter, which would be right about here after they open, they've got 28. This would be 40. This would be 20. So about 28 would be roughly in this area here. We also know that at opening time, there's nobody in there. And we also know at closing time, which is 8 hours later, there's nobody in there. And the other number that we know is 4 hours after they open, there's 257. So 240, 200, and what are they counting about over here? 80. So this is 260 or 280 right there, and 257 would probably be roughly about in this area. So this reminds me of those graphs that you see like when you Google on like the hours of operations for different stores when you go shopping. It's like when it's busy, when it's not busy. You know, these places are going to be busier in the middle of the day versus at the very end. And obviously when they open at first, it's going to be like a gradual growth and kind of a decline. So this is completely up to you what you think it does. As long as you don't have any vertical lines that are happening, you could kind of have a slow start, and then we really have some growth to get us up to here, and maybe we peak at that point, right? And then we kind of flatten out, and there's a lot of people there, and then we have a sharper decline as people leave and go away. Now, that's a possible. There's all kinds of different ways this could happen. It could shoot up and then drop down. We don't know what's going to happen there, but we do know that it has to reach that point. We got to get back down to everybody gone. We can't have any vertical lines, right? So this one's kind of up to you the way that you draw it, but that's the way that I've got it. We can have horizontal lines, meaning that there's a bunch of people in there. It's about the same for an hour or two, and then it has to start declining before the end of the night. And sorry, I'm talking a little bit lower than usual. Little guy's trying to go to sleep, so hopefully you can hear what I'm saying in the video. I think you should be okay. But have a good one. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Look forward to it. Later.